Hey guys, this is PhilosopherKing. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. This is going to be game 3 of the best 2 out of 3 series between Actaeon and myself. And you're probably wondering, where the heck is game 2? Well, the location of game 2 is going to remain a mystery because, well, it was just really awful and I just don't want to show it to you guys. What basically happened is Actaeon won, which is pretty obvious since we're having game 3. And he swept my entire team with offensive Coon 6-0. So pretty bad. I'm pretty embarrassed and I don't want to relive it, and you probably don't want to watch it because it's bad content. So we all win in a way, so it's all fair. So moving on, game 3, this should be pretty good. This is the best out of the 3 in my opinion, so non-stop action, here we go. Cloister for me and Starmie for him, that's how we lead. Unless it's some weird Starmie that doesn't run Ice Beam or Thunderbolt, the whole Bolt Beam combination, I'm pretty much in trouble, so I gotta switch out right away. I'm gonna go my Snorlax, which should take it pretty well. After all, it's my special wall, why shouldn't it? It's designed to take that kind of abuse. And indeed, the Thunderbolt bounces off its belly and it giggles in the process. So now I gotta decide whether I want to go for Body Slam, Shadow Ball, or make a switch. I see Metagross or some sort of Snorlax answer like that coming in, so I bring my Swampert in to answer, but he switches to Skarm, which normally I'd be comfortable staying in against, going for Hydro Pump, doing 52% or something like that in terms of damage. But Toxic is a real possibility on Skarm. Some people like to run that set, and it's kind of annoying, and this stage of the game I don't want to get hit with Toxic, especially my bulky water, that's not good. So I'm going to scout out for that. I'm going to go my Gengar. And he goes for Spikes, so either he's hiding it or he doesn't have it. In either case, I'm obligated to go for Thunderbolt here, pretty much. I mean, it's too early in the game to do switch-ins, like trying to make crazy switch-ins, because I don't really know what he has yet. But he decides to stay in here, which is pretty odd. I mean, he knows I have Cloyster to spin away to the Spikes, so it's not like that extra layer is going to make a bit of difference. So, I mean, kind of a blunder on his part. He kind of, I guess, realizes that and goes to his Snorlax right away following that Thunderbolt against his Skarm. And I'm going to be forced to switch here, go to my Jirachi, but he switches to Starmie. And despite not having an attack move that can really hit the Starmie hard, I'm feeling pretty comfortable against it. I just don't see him staying in against Jirachi. It could have Thunderbolt, and he wouldn't want that. So I feel pretty safe. I'm gonna go for Calm Mind in anticipation of Dugtrio trying to sneak his way in, but Hydro Pump connects, so he does decide to stay in here, and that's kind of unfortunate. And looking back, it may have been a blunder to stay in against the Starmie without any way to hurt it. However, I do recover a bit there, and I bring it out just in time, since the Dougie decides to make a surprise visit. Doesn't trap me, and he's facing the Snorlax instead. So he's going to want to get out of there. He goes to the Gengar, which is kind of an odd switch. I suppose he's worried that the Skarm will die from a crit Body Slam or something like that, so I can understand that. But I have Shadow Ball, so he's probably want to get out of there. But I know he's going to switch, so I'm going to go to use Curse. But that was a kind of a mistake too, because now he's going to get the opportunity to rest, and I won't be able to do anything about it if he decides to do that. But he decides to roar me out instead, which is a pretty odd choice. I mean, he had a perfect opportunity to use rest, unless he doesn't have it, which may be a possibility as well. But he roars out the Jirachi, and with the Dougie in the background, that's pretty scary to stay in here. But then again, the Skarm is staring at me, and it's at a low level of health. Stab Psychic would kill it, no problem. So, kind of tempting to stay in here, and I do eventually decide to stay in here, but not to go for Psychic, to go for Wish. I didn't really see him bringing the Dougie in. I just didn't feel it. It just didn't feel something that would be something Actaeon would do. I don't know, just an instinct thing. But it pays off. I get a Wish off, and Snorlax just sort of takes the Hydro Pump and Spikes, no problem. Goes from half health to full health. But yeah, I go for Body Slam again, and once again he goes to Gengar, so he's afraid the Skarm will die. And I go for Curse, He goes for Thunderbolt, and I was wondering why he would do that. It's kind of weird, but Explosion explains why he did that, and now he's going to try to revenge kill my Snorlax with the Dougie, which doesn't work out. I take out the Dougie, and so the Lax takes out 2 pokes over 2 turns, so good job, Lax. But in all honesty, looking back on this, I probably should have gone for Rest on the Dougie Earthquake, because, well, now my team is pretty vulnerable to Starmie. I really have nothing that wants to take anything the Starmie wants to dish out. Hydro Pump will do a ton, and given how offensive the Starmie is, I mean, I probably won't have, or how offensive the team is in general, I probably won't have an opportunity to bring it in against at any time, especially with spikes up in order to rest. I won't be able to really bring my Cloyster in the Rapid Spin as often as I like either, so I figure it was too much of an effort to keep the Snorlax alive, so I let it die off, which may be a mistake, so let me know in the comments. But Hydro Pump misses on the Starmie, which is, it was, you know, statistically favored for that to happen eventually, since it's connected every single time he's used it thus far. But now I see something that's really scary. I do 32% against the Coon, and that could only happen if it had no defense investment, or hardly any at all, which means it's probably offensively oriented, which means I'm about to relive Game 2 all over again, and I don't want that to happen. I'm not going to get swept. I'm determined not to let that happen. I can't let that happen. That was embarrassing one time. It's not going to happen a second time. So basically, my approach here is to confirm the set. HP Electric, if it comes, will kill me, but if it doesn't, he goes for Calm Mind or something, I'll explode. But HP Electric, unless it's some weird set, is probably the hidden power. So I go for my Swampert, Hydro Pump misses, and I manage to roar it out, so crisis averted, temporarily. I get the Starmie facing me after being blown in, and I go for Earthquake, it misses, so this is going to give Actaeon the opportunity to go for Rest if he has it. He should have gone for it before if he had it, but if he doesn't go for it this time, he probably doesn't have the move. So yeah, we'll see what he wants to do here. I take the opportunity to bring my Gengar in. He goes for a 3rd layer spike, so he doesn't have it. And looking at his team right now, Starmie, Coon, Skarm, the only thing that wants to take a Thunderbolt is the Snorlax. So I'm going to see him, predict him going for that Lax. And I'm going to double switch to my Salamence in response. And it works out. Nothing on his team now wants to take a hidden power fly from a choice band Mence. Not even a Skarm, since it's at a low level of health. Brings his Coon in, and does 48%, which puts it within kill range for my Salamence. So he's probably going to want to switch here, fodder something off, get some leftovers, recover on that Coon, so he can take out my Mence, but it's still kind of risky to bring the Coon in. So probably the best thing he could do after foddering off the Skarm is to bring in a Starmie, and indeed that's what happens. Ice Beam is pretty much a given here, so I gotta figure out what I want to fodder off, since nothing on this team wants to take anything from this offensive Starmie. Hydro Pump misses, but not that that matters, because I still don't want to switch into anything. So next Hydro Pump connects, my Jiraiya's dead, and bring in my Swampert in for free. Earthquake, pretty much a given right now, and he knows that, so he brings his Snorlax in, which is probably the best thing that could take it. And I make a good switch here, or excuse me, I make a good move here. I go for Roar as he curses up, and I roar out to the Coon. And now it's pretty much a one-on-one between Swampert and Coon. Not the ideal situation, but it's all I have. Gengar doesn't want to switch into anything this Coon could dish out. and the Salamence doesn't want to switch in fear of Ice Beam. So yeah, I'm putting all my cards in on this Swampert to take out this Coon, which has terrified me ever since game 2. But yeah, here we go. Let's see how this works out. Hydro Pump does 47%, and with leftovers I should live another one. Earthquake does 34%. He goes for Ice Beam for some reason, which is fine by me. It does less damage, and Earthquake takes it out. I guess he was assuming I go for Salamence in anticipation of another Hydro Pump, but I didn't take the bait, and so I get this Starmie staring at me. Once again, nothing on this team wants to take a Hydro Pump. Gengar doesn't. It would live, but Starmie would be faster, and it can go for another one and take it out the next turn. Starmie has Ice Beam, so it doesn't want to switch into that, and it's slower, so it wouldn't get a chance to do anything in it, either way. So pretty much the only option I have to win this game is to fire off the Swampert, bring in the Gengar at full health, and try to take out the Starmie. That's my only option. So yeah, obviously I speak my thought process out faster than I think my thought process out, because the timer's still going after I explain everything. So I'm not really patient with myself, so I'm going to fast forward. And Hydro Pump connects, my Swampert goes down, and my Gengar comes back in. So yeah, now I gotta decide whether I want to anticipate not an advertisement, but anticipate a Snorlax switch, bring my Salamence in. That's pretty risky, and I'm really not feeling that. So I'm going to go for the obvious Thunderbolt against this Starmie. And yeah, the timer froze. It shouldn't freeze, but it does. But whatever. Fast forward option. And I go for Thunderbolt, connects with the Snorlax. And I get a lucky paralysis, which is kind of helpful. It allows me to bring my Salamence in for... at least allows me to bring it in a little bit better, since the chance of Para will allow it to come in for free on some occasions. And now I'm in a coin flip situation. If I go for Thunderbolt and it connects with the Lax, you can go for Curse, and yeah, wouldn't work out. But I bring my Salamence in and he switches to his Starmie, it's game over that way too, since my Gengar wouldn't want to take a Hydro Pump switching back. So I hope he switches to Starmie, but it doesn't work out. Thunderbolt connects with Snorlax's fat belly and curses up, and that's kind of bad. So my one option now is to go to Salamence, hope he doesn't get a crit with Body Slam or a Para with Body Slam, and allow me to take it out with Choice Band Ments. But I get a free switch in after Para kicks in at the right time, and I have an option of going for Hidden Power Fly or Brick Break. Brick Break would do more damage against the Snorlax, but not significantly more, and you could switch in Starmie to take it a lot better than my Lax ever would. So HP Fly seems like the best thing. But he gets a rest off, and that's kind of annoying. I could play the game where I just spam Hidden Power, but he could just always go for he could always just go for Body Slam and just do a ton to my Salamence, and then just switch in Starmie or something like that after I switch out or something like that. Like, I just did not see that working out. So we both switch out here. We get Gengar on Starmie. Now, actually staying in and going for HP Fly would have been the best thing, because the Starmie being at 86% or 85% would have died from an HP Fly from Ments, and so I would have won the game. So my best bet was to stay in and go for Choice Band Hidden Power Fly. But it is what it is. I made that decision. I gotta live by it. So yeah, I go for Thunderbolt against the Starmie. He switches to Lax, and once again I gotta decide whether I want to go to Salamence or stay in, go for Gengar, go for Thunderbolt with Gengar. We're pretty much just flipping coins at this point. I mean, it's pretty luck based, although I feel like Actaeon's got a huge advantage over me. I feel like he's in my head a lot more than I'm in his. but he has a lot more experience than me, so he is a master at mind games more than I. So yeah, Salamence switch, or stay and go for Thunderbolt and hope he switches to Starmie. That's pretty much my option at this point. Snorlax could just stay in and try to wake up, but that would give me the opportunity to bring my Salamence, like I said. So he's in a bit of a situation too, and he's thinking about it pretty hard. His timer's at the 3-minute mark. But yeah, didn't I say it was pretty non-stop action? You know, a lot of cliffhanger action going on. But yada yada yada, I get my Salamence in, and he makes the wrong decision. He swears in comment section, and now I got a chance to win this game. Hopefully, I should be able to take out the Starmie, even though it's at 91%. I'm hoping, but it's probably not as likely. And it doesn't work out. I do 87%, so I would have killed it earlier, but now it's at a level of health where it's just not going to do it. And so I see him going for Ice Beam here. I'm going to be switching to my Gengar. He'll get hit by Ice Beam or something like that, and then he can go for Hydro Pump and kill me off. So pretty much that's the best thing I can do at this point. So yeah, barring a Hydro Pump miss, I will lose the game. But if he misses, I will take out the Starmie. So crucial miss? Nope. Doesn't work out. No hacks working in my favor today. Hydro Pump connects, takes out my Gengar, and it's pretty much game over. Ice Beam will kill the Salamence, no problem. Just talking it out in the comment section. He asked me if I counted Hydro Pumps, and I'm kind of dreading the answer, because pretty much it turns out that was his last Hydro Pump, which means if I had gone from Gengar to Salamence after the Gengar switched in, I would have taken a Hydro Pump, and then he would have been out of Hydro Pump, so I'd switch my Gengar back in and maybe have a shot. But looking back, it's not, that wouldn't have worked out either. Let's say he did run for out of Hydro Pumps, and I switched back to my Gengar. He would have gone for Ice Beam. It would have done another 42%. I would have been in the red. Starmie would have been faster. He would have gone for another Ice Beam. My Gengar would have died, and then my Salamence would come back in and then die from another Ice Beam. So pretty much, it would have just delayed the game. It wouldn't have changed the outcome. So on turn 47, he goes for Ice Beam, and that's the game. Actaeon wins this 2 out of 3 series, 2-1, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was a great series in general. Even though I lost it, I'm proud of the way I played, despite making a few mistakes. So let me know what you think in the comments. Rate and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff, and see you next time. This is PhilosopherKing signing out.